Ladies and gentlemen, you want to talk about real hoops? You want to talk about some real hoops? Let's do it. I'm just overjoyed. I'm overjoyed right now because what an incredible basketball game that was. And I don't want to speak too soon or anything, but ladies and gentlemen, that might have just been our WNBA Finals preview. I'm just saying, because goodness gracious, let's start off with the New York Liberty. Look, Natasha Cloud has officially come in and made the New York Liberty a better team than the team that just won the WNBA championship last year. I'm sold. I don't need to see anything more. Losing Benaja Hamilton is a massive loss, and I don't want to undermine that, but goodness gracious, there was one way the Liberty could have gotten better going into this WNBA season, and that was through a point guard. And they went and got Natasha Cloud. Natasha Cloud, of all the point guards, the perfect fit next to Sabrina to get her off ball, to help with the perimeter defense, which we saw at the end of this game, whether you want to call it a foul or not. It wasn't called a foul on the court. The perimeter defense was there. You look at here, 3 blocks, 5 steals, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Come on, bro. Come on. This is one of the best point guards in the entire league, and she goes to the champs and fills exactly what they need. The exact void that they had, Natasha Cloud fills it. Jonquel Jones, also fantastic in this game. 9 of 15, 26 points, 12 rebounds. That's what you need. The Liberty, to me, are at their best when Jonquel Jones is at worst the number 2 option. And there's been times in the past we've had the dialogue in years before. If you're especially if you're a bit of an older fan, like I say older fan, but like 3-4 years, like since Jonquel has been in New York, we have been having this dialogue about how do you get her involved in the best, most healthy way for this Liberty team. And I thought they had a really, really solid diet of that today. If I'm looking at this Liberty team, the defense, honestly, is what stands out to me. You want to talk about a team that was able to, especially in that first half, just provide so much struggle for Caitlin Clark in the way that they're able to throw so many different bodies, and you're able to throw size on her, you're able to throw speed on her. Like, you have a little bit of everything on this Liberty roster from a defensive perspective, and I was so incredibly impressed by that. Again, it's really simple. This Liberty team won the WNBA championship last year and then went and got better. They went and got better. You don't have Leona Phoebus for the majority of this game, and you're still able to go into Indiana and pull this game out. To me, until someone proves me otherwise, I simply the New York Liberty are going to be the WNBA champions again. Like, obviously, this game was close for a reason, but like that is the level that they're at, where it's like until someone changes that, obviously they're going to be the defending champs this whole time. I don't see much shaking my opinion that they are going to end up being the WNBA champions again, because they just got so much better. But I'll tell you right now, one thing that can shake that opinion? All WNBA Aaliyah Boston. And that's what we got today. And look, she was feasting off scraps. Aaliyah Boston is still not heavily involved in the kind of, like, we didn't see a ton of two-man game, especially in the first half. More is what I'm focusing on here. That first half, we didn't see a ton of Aaliyah Boston being able to get in the pick and roll with Caitlin or things of that nature. She was just feasting off the scraps, and she was doing phenomenally of it. Her touch is so incredibly good. Like, it's so good. And I said in my preview, if we get all WNBA Aaliyah Boston for this Indiana Fever team, you're looking at the thing that can raise them to a championship caliber team. And that is exactly what they are. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anyone on the Fever roster says. I don't care what any fan says. I don't care what any media says. The Indiana Fever are contenders. That is the expectation now, because that is what you've shown. You are good enough to be in those conversations. You are good enough to go and win a WNBA championship. And so much of that has to do with the performance, the elevation, the evolution of Aaliyah Boston. 27 points, 12 of 19, 13 rebounds. Come on, against two incredible defenders in Jonquel and Stewie. That is what you want to see if you are a Fever fan. And look, realistically, this was, for Caitlin standards, a bad game. It was. 10 turnovers is never going to be good. Yet that second half, when that first 3 went in, there was a shift. You could feel it. Then that next 3 went in, and it's like, uh-oh. Like, the passing in the first half, especially, the passing was when the assists and the non-turnovers was incredible. Like I literally put a tweet out where I'm like, there's sometimes like Caitlin Clark just throws passes where literally all you can do is shake your head and laugh because what? Why are you this good? You know? And obviously the shooting struggles were the biggest thing and the turnovers. So to me, the fact that Indiana loses this game by 2 and very well could have easily won this game, right? Like, I mean, this comes down to Sabrina free throws on a shaky foul. I think that foul is the more one that's shaky than the no call on the last possession. What Caitlin is the gravity that she has is so major for this team. And I certainly don't think that this 3-point shooting slump is going to stick around in this way. 2 of 12 today. Obviously not the standard of Caitlin Clark that we're used to seeing. 6 of 19. Like that's I don't expect that. 0 for 4 from DeWanna Bonner as well. Like coming off the bench, which I thought Lexi Holt was really, really good in this game. But a different switch up in that. I liked that. I thought that worked really well in getting DB more in her natural position of the 4. She certainly can play the 3, and I think we'll see lineups where we see that. It'll be interesting to seeing if that becomes a bit more of a kind of team dependent, matchup dependent type thing, or if that is what the Indiana Fever stick with going forward. I can't say enough about how impressed I am by both these teams coming away from this game. There's been several games this year for the W, just generally speaking, where I leave and I'm like, oh no, both these teams don't look like what I thought that they were going to look like, right? This game was that in the best way, where I'm like, oh my gosh, both these teams are as real as they get. Like, I fully believe that. Obviously, the Fever, 2-2, not like a scorching start by any means from a record perspective, but this game right here just kind of alleviated any of the worries that I have, because I do believe like you do this with a bad Caitlin Clark game. What happens when she plays good the entire game? We saw the second half. I was ready to give like a standing ovation by the time that this game came to an end, because I was just so incredibly moved by the hoops. Give me a final series, at minimum a semifinal series. I need it. Hook it up to my veins, please. This was incredible basketball. The refs were a little too tight for my liking, personally. Like, I thought the game got a little bit choppy, but when we were in the live hoops, like, it was wonderful. It was wonderful basketball. I will say, kind of flipping back to the Liberty a little bit, I think what's also worthy of noting here, and kind of the same vein as Caitlin having a bit of a slow game and a detrimental game at times, Stewie did not have her biggest game either. 16 points, which is like, like, I mean, that's not Stewie being Stewie, just 16. You know, like, that's not what we're used to. 4 of 11, right? Like, impacting the game in other ways as she is, but like for Stewie standards, a generally quiet game. And so I say that in compliments to the Liberty, where you're able to have this and still have a game where you win and go into Indiana and win against a very good Indiana team. To me, that's where I see the shot diet of Sabrina Ionescu getting 8 of 20 and 2 of 8 from 3. And I'm like, I would like, 4 or 5 of those shots going to Stewie instead. But that's, that's the way the game goes sometimes. Goodness, this might be the WNBA Finals preview. Like, I know it's early in the season, but with that, like, to me, I think the Liberty are certainly capable of getting better, but they're already starting off at such a high and already such a solid unit that, like, I would be interested in seeing like how much better is for them. But Indiana, I fully believe they're going to get better. And what does that look like when that happens? I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I truly can't. I love this game. Like, this is one of those games where I'm like, God, I love basketball. Like that is what this was. I'm leaving incredibly impressed by both these teams and very excited to see how these seasons go for both of them. Let me know what you thought. Like, what to you, is this a WNBA Finals preview? Minnesota's going to have something to say about that. Teams like Las Vegas, Phoenix has looked really good out the jump. I mean, like, there's a whole field of teams. We're so early on this season, but to me, these two in Minnesota certainly look like they can be a cut above. Indiana's going to start stacking those wins, though. So let me know what you think about this game. What stood out to you? Who would maybe your player of the game, if you will? For me, I think I'm giving it to Natasha Cloud. Jonquel was really good, but Natasha Cloud was like literally everywhere on this game. And then Aaliyah Boston as well for Indiana was an MVP caliber form tonight. And maybe I was underselling it with all WNBA. maybe I was. I am loving what I'm seeing from AB, loving what I'm seeing from both of these teams. Make sure you stay tapped in here on No Cap Space across the board here on the YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, comment your player of the game. And of course, NoCapSpaceWB.com, where you can find our print and podcast content. We're dropping stuff pretty much every day of the week. Free content, paid content for our ball knowers. There's a little something for everybody on there. So go check out NoCapSpaceWB.com. All links in the description below, and I'll see you next time.